RV's Gone Wild.
Hey everyone, I'm on the Oregon coast. Welcome to RV's Gone Wild, number 29. Let's get on to the first video. And of course, don't forget to like this video, click subscribe. Let's get going. We're back. Just got back from some more travels. More travel videos are coming. And before we get on to the first RV, I just want to say to everyone in the Southeast who are dealing with the hurricanes and the storms, especially all my friends in Port St. Lucie, where I used to live for a little while, heart goes out to you. I hope everyone you know is okay. As everyone knows, there was a lot of storm damage on a lot of RVs. In fact, Brian J. sent us this one. It's a storm damage in actual East Ohio. This poor guy apparently bought it only 2 months ago. What a bummer. And another one I saw, I think this one was from the previous hurricane before Milton, but more RVs were taken out. I mean, whole RV parks were taken out. Let's face it, folks. And Reagan R. sent this to us. This is in Tennessee. He lives in the Tennessee disaster area. He drove by the KOA, included a map of what the campground used to look like, and now it's just rocks and mud. I know everyone's going to pull through. We're going to rebuild, and we'll all be back to normal one day. This happened really close to where I live just recently. Good news is no one was hurt.
Terrifying moments in Langley as a man flees a broken down motorhome moments before it's struck by a train. Video taken by a nearby business owner shows one person running from the vehicle trying to fix it when they heard the train coming and ran. It happened around 10:30 a.m. near the Golden Ears Bridge in the area of 201st.
I found this one online. I almost put it in the turducken section, but I thought I'd just leave it out on its own. This type of big rig, I'm sure this guy's got some kind of commercial operation going on. I don't really know the story behind it. The way they've kitted it out, the way they can even fit the golf cart on the inside. I just wish I had a reason in my life to drive around something like this. She's a beauty. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. And if you really want to help, share this video on social media. I'd love to get more people to watch. As a reminder, if you have any cool videos or pictures you want to send my way, send them to RVingWithJoe@gmail.com. And what's wrong with this picture? It looks like all the lug nuts sheared off. Not quite sure what happened here, but make sure you're out there checking your wheels regularly and torque those puppies down before every trip.
Torque. Don't so much say torque. Torque.
Chris W. sent this in. He called it the Kild Dozer 2.0. He's from Utah. I think that's where this might have been spotted. Leon W. sends these 1968 military ambulance. It's a 1968 M725. Apparently he restored it and turned it into a camper in the rear. Check it out. And John L., he saw this at the Harvest Host in Tillamook, Oregon. He said he wasn't sure what it was. They travel full-time out here west of the Mississippi, as he sees many odd rigs he can send in, and he says he'll subscribe soon. Please subscribe now.
Make sure you subscribe.
But the funny part is I know where this was taken, and this was actually taken at the Blue Heron cheese, factory or cheese place in Tillamook, because I just stayed there. I just stayed there like a week or two ago. Who knows, John? We might have camped right next to each other that night. Funny enough, in RV's Gone Wild number 28, we featured this where it was sent to us from Chris Spencer at the KOA down in Vegas. And Chris from the KOA in Vegas sent us another cool one. He writes, it's quite the off-road capable vehicle. He can't imagine what it cost to ship this here to travel because it came over from Europe, it appears. I'll tell you, whatever it cost to ship it here, it cost a lot more to drive it around the U.S. That thing probably gets 1 mile to the gallon. Wanda O's back. She writes, she knows I love these apocalypse rigs. She saw this one at the Vaughn's in Oakhurst, California. I'm beginning to think these are a secret invasion. All these tourists are coming in from Europe in these, and then one day they're all just going to get together.
We are at DEFCON 1. DEFCON
1. And we got another one that we spotted. This is another one where somebody took a trailer, put it on the back of a big commercial, I think possibly even former military rig. Ever since I started doing this channel and seeing these, it's making me rethink my whole approach to how I RV. And my wife doesn't like it. Here's another apocalypse rig. I forgot where we spotted this. It's definitely ready to roll. And while we're at it, here's yet another apocalypse rig. I'm telling you, they're taking over.
Blows up the mountain.
And John G sends in this RV toter. He thought we'd get a kick out of it. He says he loves the channel, and we love it when you send in this kind of stuff. Yes, this is crazy. This looks like it's a motorhome turned into a fifth wheel. But come on, at least color match them. Hey, I want to give a shout out to some fans. I'm going to start with Christine, who came up to me at the Snowbird RV show in Abbotsford. I actually have that video coming up. I went and checked out a lot of the cool new RVs, and especially any one of the trailers that were off-road trailers. Thanks for saying hi, Christine. Also, I think I already gave the shout out to Clayton from Chilliwack. I saw him at the Costco. If I didn't, let me do it again if I did. But yeah, hey Clayton, thanks for coming up to me. And unfortunately, I didn't write down the names for these wonderful couple that came up to us while we were in Cannon Beach, Oregon. I was looking at different RV spots at different parks. And while I was looking at this park, these folks came up to me and told me they were big fans of the show. It's always really great when people come up to me and tell me how much they like these videos. And if you ever see me out there, just stop me, tap me on the shoulder, say hi. And our buddy Chris Spencer, the manager over at KOA in Vegas, who always spots the coolest rigs, he spotted this one. It's a flat black wrap on a Super C. Thanks, Chris. Mark and Wendy saw this tiny house trailer just driving on by. Thanks for grabbing the pic. Huge M sent this in. Apparently, this is from the 70s. He bought it to use at flea markets for a couple of years. And he thinks it was a 1966 International pickup that had some kind of VW bus on top. Yeah, clearly this thing was custom made. Somebody had a blowtorch and some time on their hands. Speaking of blowtorches, Kent P sent this in. He saw these in the Clade, Lacede, Missouri, the boyhood home of General Pershing. But more to the point is somebody out there is taking old rigs and turning them into fifth wheels. Look at these. That's crazy. You know, we've been seeing a bunch of these on our channel. Now we know where they're all coming from. And you know, as we go through RVs and buy different RVs, sometimes you end up with a whole bunch of different RVs that you've had over your life. At this point in my life, I've had 3 RVs. I expect I'll have more before the end. But CAO3 O'Connor here, they sent us these sets of rigs. He writes, these are some of the RVs my wife and I have had through the years. We bought that 1986 dually new, and they've had it for 32 years. Yeah, I burned through my trucks a little faster than that. Well done. Grant and Julie from Australia. He writes that he's a caravanning nut, which means RVing in Australian, and he's been into Ford since 1970. I like to hear that. He wanted to send us pictures of his caravan called a My Dream RV. They established themselves here in 2022. Theirs is the 250th build. It's their 3rd caravan, and the 2nd one that they had actually built from scratch. This one's a 20-footer. And to be honest, it reminds me a lot of the Ember RVs, which were really modeled a bit, it seems, after the Australian off-road style. They too established themselves in 2022. Grant and Julie, it seems like you and I are in the same place in our RV journey. They enjoy the show, and I enjoy this rig. Thanks for sending it in to us. And if you have any cool RVs, you want to send me pictures, links, videos, whatever, send it to RVingWithJoe@gmail.com. I check out every single email. I can't quite use all of them, but I do read them all, and I appreciate everyone who sends them in. Adam N., he sent in actually some old 1970s footage of some classic campers. This is what it was like to RV in the old days. Here's just a few clips. Thanks for sending it in. It's great that you got those memories stored in video from all the way back then. Adam M. also sent in this crazy rig. That's one heck of a wrap. What if you saw this in your rearview mirror? Bet you everybody pulls to the right. John S. sent this in to us. I don't know if my notes are incomplete here, but I don't actually have anything on this particular rig, but it certainly is a beaut. It looks like a real workhorse. And I imagine you can take this thing anywhere with that setup. Nice job. Ken D has this van conversion on the cheap. He enjoys the show. He wanted to send in some pictures, and they finally got this finished, this Winnebago Moho. They molded a pickup camper shell on the roof of their 93 E250 so you can stand up. A friend gave him 440 watts of solar and 200 amp hours of batteries from a sailboat. This thing's about 70% recycled or repurposed material. They live in Virginia, and next week they are heading down the Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah, that whole east side of the U.S. is one area I just have not been able to RV yet. I only made it as north as South Carolina when I was living in Florida. I'm giving this beautiful Ford truck the Ford Tip of the Hat Gold Star Award from RVing with Joe. And Steve S. sends this into us. This is our featured ad for today. So this is actually a pop-up, but it also has a cargo carrier on it. So you can load this up with toys and take it out. You know, it's got the double axle. I'm going to put the link to the RV Trader ad in the description. You know, we're talking about the RV journey. Sometimes you start with pop-ups and you work your way up to fifth wheels and Class A's. It seems to me this is a great RV for someone to sort of get started with. It's a mix between camping and RVing when you're in a pop-up. Check it out. And if you're selling your RV and you want it featured on here, send me an email, rvingwithjoe@gmail.com. We'll figure it out and get it on here, just like Steve. Ariel sent this classic in. Not sure the build and name, but it seems like it's ready to take a few dirt roads on. But it's time. That's right. It's time right now for a turducken. You know what turducken is? Turducken is where you take a turkey, and inside the turkey you cook a duck, and inside the duck you cook a chicken, and it tastes great. It's kind of an interesting way to tow. Let's look at some examples. Preppy sent this in. He saw it on eBay. Apparently it's about to be sold. I don't think it'll make it by the time I publish this. It's basically a travel trailer attached to a commercial truck. Love this idea. I love taking a beefy commercial truck that'll never die and just putting an RV on the back of it. Just take those wheels right off and mount it up. And here we got ambulance turducken, and certainly somebody lost their job here. I mean, come on, man. It's just some yellow straps on the wheels to keep something like this from happening. I wish I could see the end results, but the video cuts off. I can't imagine that ambulance came to a stop in any good way. And Brett S., he sent this in from Steinatchee, Florida, just before Hurricane Helene. Apparently the tidal surge came in 5 foot deep here at this campsite, so it's a good thing that they got out, they got no damage, and drove back to Georgia with this rig. It's a beautiful rig, and I'm really glad they got out of harm's way. Dennis sent this in to us. He found this on YouTube. You know, there's a lot of ways to load up a trailer with all kinds of rigs. This one looked like it took a lot of extra work. I almost wonder if it would have been better just to tow that trailer with an extra truck. Check it out. And here's a beautiful turducken. I might have shown this one before, I'm not really sure, but I spotted it recently online and thought I'd share it with y'all. It's a big old truck, a big old RV, and a big old pontoon boat in the back. Watch out for them wide right turns. Dustin and Carla sent this in. This is their turducken. Funny, when I first saw this picture, I thought, like, how do they have the sign loaded on the trailer? Then I figured it out. The sad part here is they can't see that small trailer in the back behind their big one, and this is what happens when you don't realize you have a flat tire. And Dustin and Carla also sent us their nephew's rig. It's not quite turducken, I'd say it is. This one's not quite as elegant as the rest. I'm glad he figured it out. John G., he posted this. He's calling it car ducking. He said it was the only way to get both cars moved off a property that sold. They had to be moved that day, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure that's what you got to tell the local sheriff when he pulls you over and you say, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Oh, well, if you got home safely, good on you. And this one comes from Junkman. Junkman says this is his turducken. Inside that cargo trailer is an Arctic Cat 500 side-by-side. It's a nice rig. Still wonder if it's legal, but hey, if it's safe and nobody's pulling you over, there you go. My producer included this in the turducken section, and I think it just qualifies with that motorcycle in the back there. Again, it's all about adding up the wheels sometimes. He writes this is his setup. He loves the channel. He's a full-time RVer, a merchant mariner, sailing around all over the world. But when he gets home, he travels around with this setup and rides his motorcycle wherever he goes. He's 60, he's widowed. Sorry to hear that, buddy. And so he doesn't have a home base. He's got 2015 Silverado 3500. He's got 6.0 gas engine there, pulling a 2022 Coleman. And his bike is a 22 KLR 6500 adventure bike. I'm guessing you got to unhook the trailer to get the bike out. All right, Ryan. Ryan sends this in as a turducken. He saw it in Waco at the Walmart. He says they were from Canada. Now, would you consider this a turducken? I'm wondering what's on the front there. That might define it, but I don't know what's attached to the front there. I think we're going to call this borderline turducken, but it's certainly a funky-ass tow job. And nobody should be towing a trailer like that with a car like that. Todd G sent this to us, his turducken. It's got sideboards on the flatbed that also are the ramps for his golf cart. He's got a Harbor Freight Badlands 2500 winch mounted on the front of that flatbed to help load up. He sees a lot of triple tow turduckens around there. And about 80% of the campers here tow a fifth wheel with a trailer and a golf cart. And Todd would like to point out that the real turducken was created in central Louisiana in Cajun country down where he's at. I might have to look that one up. Ross A just barely caught the picture of this. He was driving south on vacation to Gulf Shores, Alabama on Highway 59 almost to the I-10, and he wishes he had a better pick. But man, I'm amazed you got it at all. That is a crazy one. Looks a little top heavy, but I bet you can see over all the cars and the trucks with that one. Also, on my latest trip, I was just driving in a neighborhood and saw this cool van. I like those tires. I mean, this is Oregon. There's a lot of country to overland on. Craig, he sent this one to us. This comes all the way from Australia. And Edith K, she sent us this one from Twin Falls, Idaho. She just thought it was kind of funny and wanted to share it with us. And Coop DeVille spotted this one at Quartzsite, Arizona, RV capital of the world. Not exactly an RV, but Craig B sent in this Chop 1971 van build. I'll throw a link to it in the description if you want to check out the full one. I don't think I'd like to do van life with this one. I spotted this one in Astoria at a state park. We were just driving out, and right as we were leaving, I spotted it. I've never seen any kind of truck-attached camper like this, or I don't know if you would call this a tent camper. What is this? Does anybody out there know what this is? I didn't have time to go around the loop again to go ask them, but if anybody's aware of what this is, please comment below. And Wayne W. writes, this is the not-so-mini minivan. He thinks he saw it in Lake Havasu around 2022. Wouldn't be one of the strangest ones on the show, he writes, but it's definitely a weird one. I wish I could see the inside, right? I guess you can stand up in this RV. And Nate O, you might remember Nate O for some previous videos where he sent us a whole lot of material. And here are some more strange camper vehicles, he writes. This one's a Volvo 6x6. And then we got these other ones he sent as well. Thanks again, Nate. You always have the best stuff. Thanks everyone for watching. And if you haven't already seen the latest homeless video that everybody's talking about, it's right here to my left. Down here in the corner is RV's Gone Wild number 28, which like nobody clicked on. So feel free to check that out. I bet you haven't seen it yet. And below is another camping video. I got a lot more videos coming out soon. Make sure you subscribe, follow the channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and take care.